go into entrepreneurship with this fantasy you see online. Entrepreneurship is hard. 9 to 5 is hard. Choose your kind of difficult. We define our work at a 9 to 5 job in a very narrow way. The biggest thing I think you can learn from entrepreneurship is taking risks. 9 to 5 helps you learn politics, which I think in real life is so important. The most underrated factor for success for any business is time. It's okay to have your job for the paycheck, full stop.
There's this whole idea that a 9 to 5 is safer than entrepreneurship, but is it truly safer?
What's up and welcome to today's episode. We are excited for what we'll be talking about today. What are we talking about, Simone?
So one thing I'm thinking about is, you know how when you're like social media and you see people like, oh, I'm my own boss, working from the beach, I dictate my own time.
Digital nomad stuff.
Today, I want to explore the idea of being an entrepreneur, being your own boss versus working at a 9 to 5 and what are the things one will have to consider in both lanes.
Wow. We may discuss some controversial things today.
Yeah, that's the whole point. We might not even agree.
Okay, yeah.
But let's get started.
It's exciting.
What do you think is the most appealing thing about entrepreneurship in this current age? Why are people so drawn to being an entrepreneur as opposed to, say, a 9 to 5 job?
There are many things. One is just how much creative expression they think they will have, whatever that means in whatever industry. There's a bit more rigidity and limits, and you don't blow things up if you add a 9 to 5. So there's the idea that you have more creative expression. There's also the idea that people have that you cannot build certain levels of wealth in a 9 to 5.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, and the only way for you to do it is for you to have a business, and they quote all these examples like Rockefeller, Facebook, whatever. Right? So that's the second thing. And I think the third thing is people are just tired of like toxic environments. There are certain skills for surviving and thriving in a 9 to 5. As an example, you deal with a lot of politics and all those things. And I don't think a lot of people, maybe at least younger than us or even our age mates, like some of the downsides of working a 9 to 5 or have those skills to navigate what it means to do a 9 to 5. So it's just a combination of things. And I think the last one for me is just that, when you've been sold this dream, like someone is somewhere at a beach in Hawaii saying the only reason they could do this is media is important. Representation, storytelling, it's important. And when all those things are in your face every time, you just find yourself hating the 9 to 5
vibe that you have. Yeah. I find it also interesting that of the sort of things that you call out, one of them is not really about like the product or the thing that you actually are willing to stake your reputation on. Because I feel like as an entrepreneur, you're staking your reputation, staking your name on this thing. And it's interesting that a lot of the draws to entrepreneurship are like being your own boss, things lifestyle, as opposed to like, okay, I actually want to go build this product. I actually want to go offer this service. I think is really cool that the world.
And related to that, I think one more thing we should add to the list is sometimes 9 to 5s feel removed.
How do you mean?
The problem you want to solve with entrepreneurship might be the exact same a 9 to 5 job can offer you, but you're many levels away from the customer that you at some point
like, am I actually solving this problem?
Like what you're doing starts to feel tiny,
so
even
minute.
though it's important.
Yes,
but it starts to feel like day to day you don't feel like you're solving that problem. And with entrepreneurship, you are the accountant, you are the salesperson, COO. So you feel like I'm solving that problem day to day. And that's also another
dimension to it. But now let's go back actually to the 9 to 5 portion of it. We talked a bit about entrepreneurship. Do you actually think that 9 to 5 is really safer? I mean, your company can wake up and day and be like, Otilo, be going be going home. So because there's this whole idea that a 9 to 5 is safer than entrepreneurship, but is it truly safer?
I don't think anything is safe. at any point. No,
anybody can receive.
Yeah, anybody can. People over glamorize interesting things online these days, and I think we need to discuss some of them. When you're an entrepreneur, you still have a boss.
Yes.
And that boss can still sack you.
Yes. They're not interested in your product
anymore. Yes. Your boss is your customer.
Yes.
Your boss is your investor.
Yes.
Now you have at least two bosses.
Your boss
is the government.
Yes.
Have you worked in certain countries where the regulations can change in 24 hours?
Yes.
Right? So you have a lot of bosses now. And this idea that, 9 to 5 isn't safe. Well, your business is not safe.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. You're on the line.
You actually don't know.
Yeah.
And for some businesses that have concentration risk, and what I mean by that is maybe 70-80% of your revenue is from 5 customers.
Yes. Yeah.
If one of them leaves,
you're in trouble.
You now say it's not. We're all not safe.
We're all not safe. You have to choose your level of
exactly. And I think that's the
of safety.
Balanced kind of conversation that I don't think a lot of people have online is that choose your hard.
Yeah.
Choose your kind of difficult. Entrepreneurship is hard. 9 to 5 is hard.
Yes.
Have you had to go to work when you hate everybody there? Like you can't stand them. Then you have to smile. Smile with the person just told them don't promote this person. Yeah, the weather is nice today.
What do you mean? After you've
there are all those issues. I just think more people need to go into either of them knowing that I'm choosing my kind of hard. And there's the other angle to that. It's like many times we think these things are binary.
Yes.
Once you've picked 9 to 5,
you feel like that's the only. Yes. No room for entrepreneurship.
Yes. But there are different paths. You can also say there are seasons, right?
Yes.
So right now I'm going to prioritize a 9 to 5 and have consistent income, not safe.
Yes,
just consistent income. Regular income that I can depend on. And in this next phase of my career, let me explore entrepreneurship a bit. And if it does not work, I'll run back.
9 to 5. Let me go back. Let me go back.
So choose your hard and also realize there are seasons and you can move in between both.
Yeah, I really like that answer. And I also think that sometimes when people go into entrepreneurship, it's because they're running away from the hard of 9 to 5.
Then you go and meet 3x harder.
3x harder. Because yes, in 9 to 5, you have to offer value, but to some degree, there's already like established customers who have agreed that there's value in the product that you're offering. With entrepreneurship, you have not even justified whether there's a market for that product that you're offering.
Yes, you have to do all of that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, they like the glamour of it, but they don't fully grasp the weight or the difficulty that it might take to.
Have you negotiated with the governor of a state before?
Yes.
Those are things you start doing in entrepreneurship.
Exactly. And when the negotiations now entail, they want different dimensions to your product that you hadn't even considered. Now, are you pivoting? Are you responding? Okay. Let's go back to the notion of each is hard. Choose your hard. What would you say are skill sets, corporate skill sets that entrepreneurs need to have that you cannot get in necessarily a startup or entrepreneurship space? And what is a skill that you think corporate needs to take for entrepreneurship that is really hard to find outside of entrepreneurship?
I like that you said it's really hard, not that it's impossible.
Yes.
Yeah, both ways. Nothing is impossible. But with, let's say, someone that has always been an entrepreneur and has never worked a 9 to 5.
And by the way, guys, this is someone that has done entrepreneurship and 9 to 5. So she's speaking from both sides.
And seen all the shit. I think if you're someone that does entrepreneurship, you've never worked a 9 to 5, I think one of the most valuable skills 9 to 5 gives you structure.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Some of you entrepreneurs don't have structure.
Yeah. You can respond
at any time. You don't
take your time.
Yes. Structure.
Everything is chaotic.
And it's helpful.
Yes.
Building systems, building that structure.
Yes.
And I think it's super valuable.
Yeah.
The second thing is knowing how to leverage.
Yes.
It's something that you can learn from 9 to 5.
Yes, that's true.
How your own intellect is nothing compared to the joint collective intellect in the room.
Yes.
And how you can begin to learn, like expand your own scope, expand your mind just from the people you work with.
Yes.
A lot of entrepreneurs, at least when you're starting out, you don't have a team of 50.
In fact, you're the team.
You are the team.
You are the team.
So a lot of that knowing how to learn with, and I think work is easier for me than people.
Yes.
Dealing with human beings.
Oh,
and I feel like 9 to 5 is a good way for you to learn how to deal with humans, different people, learn from them, but also disagree in a professional way.
Exactly.
Many entrepreneurs that I've dealt with, especially when they're starting out, they don't know how to disagree in a professional way. They don't, those are some of the
it's like an all or nothing.
Yes. You know, they don't know how to say, oh, even if you don't want to be a customer again, I appreciate your business over the years. Like, there's just something you do in 9 to 5. You know, you can't just say, oh, God, then bye.
See you later. Don't bother.
Your review was so bad. You know, you can't do that. Right? So the third thing is 9 to 5 helps you learn politics. Which I think in real life is so important. That politics, that you can't be promoted because you don't know people. It will teach you a thing or two.
You see that networking?
You will network.
You will learn it.
You will, even the person you don't like, you will know how to you know, navigate, interact in a professional way. So some of those, like politics, is important. And I think a fourth thing for me that you can learn from a 9 to 5 is just being in, like, some 9 to 5s, there's like hundreds of years of history that can be learned from. And I think our world would be slightly different if we all learned a bit more from history, whether that's history of work or history of our moms. You know, many times we don't sit our moms down and
really understand
your
journey.
Exactly. We're all making the same mistakes our grandmas made.
And she does look like,
see this
you
one.
See this one.
You know, so that kind of thing in corporate, you can learn from 100 years of history and how they negotiated this. There are many people where I worked now. Sometimes I stumble on videos from the 90s where they were negotiating in the Senate. And I'm like, I want to, like, how did this person get to that point? What did the company do that got them to the Senate defending their business? So some of those things I think you can learn from 9 to 5. And I think the biggest for me is just structure. Add one last thing, and that is the fact that you have your salary and it doesn't matter.
That peace of mind.
The peace of mind. And if it's not 30th of the next month, you don't get another one. You learn how to live with that. A lot of times in entrepreneurship, you don't have that consistent paycheck. And people struggle with, so what do I do with what I have today versus it may not come tomorrow. So like a bit of structure would have, help. So those are the things I think you can learn from 9 to 5. The biggest thing I think you can learn from entrepreneurship is taking risk. Many of us, once we've worked too long in a 9 to 5, we don't even know what it's like to apply for another job.
100%
like to beg for that next job. What it's like to take a risk or like a calculated guess and just do something you don't know all.
You've not 100% planned out.
Exactly. So I think the most valuable thing for me from entrepreneurship is not knowing what tomorrow brings. I'm being okay with it.
Taking it one day at a time.
And then the second thing you can learn from entrepreneurship is a little bit of audacity. Selling a dream is hard, though. Forget all this. Selling getting someone to even bring $50. The same $50 they would have given you as a gift. Tell them you have a product, buy it.
It's enough small energy to
you work. You go and work. So that audacity, believing in yourself to be able to sell a dream of what something can be.
Putting something together coherently that's convincing.
Because sometimes the technical product works, but your storytelling is not good.
We've talked about like the power of storytelling in like getting,
So just some of those things I feel like is valuable that you can learn from your friends that are entrepreneurs.
I think I 100% agree with you. The only thing I'll probably add is the ability to build quickly. I feel that sometimes in corporate, things can be a bit slower. And there's reasons why there's systems, checks, balances, there's that. But I feel that
it could be a hindrance.
Yes, it could be a hindrance for that. But to that point of like learning systems and the paycheck, I think there's a certain degree of responsibility that I think comes when you've had that corporate experience of, you know what, these people are depending on me. These people are depending on the idea and vision that I have. And I need to, and in fact, their families are even depending on me. So
their children's
future. So you know what? I cannot afford for them to not be paid on time, as I was being paid on time. So what are the systems that I'm putting in place to make sure that, you know what, whatever the cadence is, these people are getting their salary for the work that they've done. For me, that is like one thing I would probably really emphasize from like the corporate space.
Learning from corporate.
Yeah, learning from corporate. Yeah. The other question I was going to ask you is, I think, and you mentioned this, a lot of people go into entrepreneurship because they want to be millionaires. They want to get a big break.
It's important.
Yes, I'm not discounting that factor. Do you think that it's easier to be a millionaire from entrepreneurship, or say climbing the corporate ladder to being a VP? Which one can you get?
Easier.
It's easier to become a millionaire. Which path gets you to a millionaire faster?
Keyword is easier.
Easier.
Okay. And millionaire, like you're worth at least $1 million.
Yes, at least $1 million.
Because you're asking me this right now, for sure it's way easier for you to achieve that with a 9 to 5. $1 million.
$1 million, yes.
100% 9 to 5.
Okay, walk us through. I mean, if you want to know.
My math is, let's say you graduated, and I'm talking about like between now and maybe the last 10 years and maybe the next 5 years.
So
that's 15-year period. For sure. Go and do a 9 to 5.
Okay.
My reasoning is do a 9 to 5 and learn a skill that's
high value.
High value. I'm not talking about like you studied your passion in college.
Yes.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. You studied a course, let's say computer science. In the last 15 years, you cannot tell me that you somehow could not make $1 million in 15. No.
Yes.
Right. So if you learned that skill, you got a job, you even get a job that's maybe 100K or 80K.
Yes.
Out of college. 80K, which computer science graduates have been getting.
Yes. Right from time.
Right from time.
Right from time.
So you get 80K when you add your bonus.
Yeah.
You add your stock.
Yes.
And the way those stocks have performed in the last 10 years.
Yes.
You don't even need to. VP is too high.
You don't even need to reach VP.
Stay there 5 years and come back. Come and tell me, except you are a wasteful person, you come back to this channel.
In fact, let us know.
Let us know that you somehow, I'm not even talking, you've not worked in Fango, those places, Facebook, Meta. Go to even startup.
Yeah.
You know, and build from there. Of course, not someone that it's just an idea, but a real startup. No, in 10 years, there's almost no way
that you don't
even need to be a VP. Spend 5 years, 7 years. Do you know how many millionaires these companies have made?
Yeah. I mean, they made quite a good number. Quite a millionaires. Yes, quite a good number.
It all depends on like what you can keep. Back to what we talked about in another episode. If you earned all this money and you paid a ton of taxes and you bought a car, bought a nice house, you know, bought a yacht. Exactly. You may not have anything, but in terms of you are a faithful person. You will make it way easier for you to do corporate. Now, entrepreneurship side, if you want to make the same million, if you say you make 10 million in revenues, if you have a 10% profit margin, of the 10 million, of which let's come back to the work, the sweat, the pain, the prayer,
to get that
get 10 million of revenue.
Yes, it's not.
It's when you learn, even your family and friends don't buy.
They support
prayer, but they don't buy. 10 million in revenue, you have a 10% profit margin, and then you have $1 million. $1 million.
But have you paid your
You've not paid your staff. Let's say the 10% is you've paid your staff. It's net revenue. You have net income. Net profits really. But anyway, you have $1 million. Will you pay yourself the entire $1 million, or you will invest a part of it back into the business?
You probably won't need your business to grow. So
let's say you take 800K. You know, like, but the work to get to that 10 million in revenue.
It's not trivial. It's not trivial.
It will be more than the time you would have even become SVP, CVP, whatever it takes. It takes work, especially if you're not from a wealthy, connected home. It takes work. So to me, if you want to get to your first million, if I were redoing things, I will study an important thing in college or learn it on YouTube, whatever, do a coding camp, whatever. I'll get my first million from 9 to 5. And after that,
Until
see you.
See you later.
I'll go and pursue my entrepreneurship in peace.
Yeah. At that point, you're not stressed out.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one I was going to ask so we talk about the money side of it, but from an impact side of it, do you think that you can have bigger impact in the world if you're in a massive organization that has lots of resources? You're not bound by resources, but you might just be a small piece of the puzzle, or you can have impact in a small, dynamic, agile space where you maybe have more responsibility. Like from an impact standpoint, as the other metric, which one would you say gets you to impact faster?
Yeah, I think this is where I'll say it depends.
Okay, on
it depends on how you define impact. When we say impact, it means a million things.
Okay.
Are you trying to get people out of poverty? Are you trying to do work that's meaningful for your customers?
Yes. Let's say that meaningful for your customers, because if your customers are coming out of poverty, it's still meaningful for them.
Yeah.
Let's just say meaningful for your customers.
If it's been meaningful for my customers, 9 to 5.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because they are serving more customers.
Yeah.
If I were even doing some computation of my real impact, 0.01% times a million customers times this, my impact is still higher.
Okay.
Because to get 10 customers, real customers on your entrepreneurship journey may take you 2 years to get 10 solid customers. You can't tell me of course, impact is an interesting thing that's difficult to define.
To measure?
Right? Yeah, and measure.
Yes.
But at a 9 to 5, even if your core work is not meaningful to you, there are many things that I do at work that give me a lot of meaning and impact. Like I join groups and I lead a lot of things.
Yeah.
ERGs, like employee resource groups.
Yes.
Sometimes we have scholarships, and then I'm part of deciding on who get the scholarships.
Yes.
Like I get a lot of meaning from that.
Yes.
In my 9 to 5, when will I get a 10 million scholarship for college kids?
Yes. Fair enough.
So I still think that we need to start defining impact a bit more broadly. And I think one thing that people say a lot about 9 to 5 that's to me is too narrow is we define our work at a 9 to 5 job in a very narrow
way. Oh yes, 100%. I agree.
It's that I'm not finding meaning in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, what about the other things? What about the people you're coaching?
Yes.
What about all those things?
The mentorship. Yes.
The groups you're part of that you would
100%.
never have been a part of if you didn't work at that place.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot. Like, define it a bit more broadly.
Yes.
Like, there are days, truthfully, I'm not energized by my work.
Yes.
I'm energized by other things around that work.
Yes, 100%.
All my fulfillment doesn't have to come from my core work.
Yeah. I remember even, and I'm not going to mention a person, but someone in the tech space had mentioned that, even working at a tech company, your experience there is what you make of it.
Yes.
It's not just the thing that you're maybe specialized in to do. It's the collective effort and how you leverage that.
Yeah.
So if, for example, there's something that is particularly meaningful to you, there are multiple dimensions in which you can leverage that corporate or that collective energy, collective presence to foster that thing. It could be, let's say you're interested in teaching kids tech, for example. There's a way you can do it in corporate that would be very effective and also beneficial for those kids. So I think I 100% agree with you when I feel like sometimes 9 to 5 can be, and again, maybe we don't generalize because we are in the tech space, maybe in other domains is somewhat different.
Yeah.
But I feel that there's a way that 9 to 5 can be somewhat siloed as or restricted as not sufficient to be meaningful or impactful in the work that you do.
Yeah, and you can also take your 9 to 5 check, build it up, and get out and go do that thing.
Yeah. Okay. So now going back to the other side, you mentioned that it's faster to get to 1 million in corporate.
Things being equal.
All things being equal, it's relatively easier to have impact, all things being equal, in 9 to 5. Then what then is appeal for 9 to 5? Why should someone then go into, not 9 to 5, into entrepreneurship? Sorry. What then is appeal there?
Okay. There are many things or many reasons why you should be an entrepreneur. At least my goal or what's in my head is like, you just have to be aware of the challenges. and be prepared to handle them. Don't go into entrepreneurship with this fantasy you see online. It's not the real world of how that space works, right? So many reasons why I would pursue entrepreneurship. One is sometimes the politics in corporate is exhausting. There is politics in the world.
There's also politics in entrepreneurship.
In anything.
And even you building a company, there will eventually be politics there.
Anyway. I'm just saying, sometimes this kind of politics you're experiencing is exhausting. You want to experience another type.
Okay. Different flavor.
Different flavors. Not that you're escaping anything. This escape mindset is not real.
Don't buy into it.
You are escaping into more trouble.
Yes, maybe fry pan to fire.
Yeah, so, and two, sometimes, not just politics, but sometimes there's a cap. I don't wake up and think about there's a cap to my career. But the reality is, in corporate, sometimes you get to a level, if one person doesn't leave, you don't get promotion.
The peace.
So start praying that person leaves. Hello, you gotta start praying. Because you've seen that there's no space on top of me, especially when you're already VP. There's no space here. This person must get another job or they must retire.
One of them.
Let me put it in prayer.
Let them blow somewhere else.
Somewhere. Or let them say, I want to go spend time with my daughter in Spain. Great. God has created something for me. So sometimes there's that kind of cap, and you just want to go. You're tired of it. You're tired of waiting, and you just want to get out and do something else. It doesn't mean that thing will be better. So that's one more reason to be an entrepreneur. And third is, you can scale in a crazy way if it works.
That's a huge asterisk over there that people don't see. Like the footnote.
Most businesses, maybe, last time I checked, maybe 75% of small businesses fail in the first year. You don't even have a chance. You've not even figured out the business you failed. No, seriously. I did a lot of businesses. Go and convince someone to pay $50. That person would rather give you as a gift than buy that your nonsense product. So like there's a kind of scale you can achieve. When you start something that's crazy, that's not been done. Think of our lives before Facebook. And the world, capitalism rewards you for it. Stop. I'm not one of those people that believe these rich people are terrible people. Rich people have good character. They are good people. If it's easy, go and be rich.
Go and run it.
Go and run it. So I feel like there's a kind of scale to do something crazy that has not been done before. You likely can't find that in a 9 to 5, or it will be difficult to convince a company that has operated a certain way to start this new thing. Like I think I once read the person when Google started Gmail, it was an idea from an employee. But that's one out of millions of ideas.
But to be honest with you, for me, which is why for me the starting point for entrepreneurship that makes sense is, that resonates more with me, is starting from an idea that offers value. Like I struggle to see how the starting point from entrepreneurship can be that I want to grow in my career and the VP does not want to move. Therefore, let me go. Like I don't know. Like, okay,
you're going to not growth.
You're going to go and do something else. But like, what's that thing?
It's just you can go mentor other people aspiring to be VPs. It could be anything, but it's different.
It could. But then for me, I still feel that for you to be like, okay, I'm going into entrepreneurship, it has to be clear what the value is. The value could be that, yes, I'm going to go and mentor people.
There's always value. Nobody starts something thinking there's no value. The issue is, does the customer think there's value? And is it value, something they're willing to pay for and pay today?
Yes, that's another dimension.
Because when I used to read a lot about startups and starting a business, the most important underrated factor for success for any business is time.
Right time. Yes, right time.
The truth is your business can be the best, but we're not ready for that innovation.
Not yet.
Not yet. Come back in 5 years' time. You get, there's all of those things that I think people don't go thinking they don't have value. You have value. You think you are
a subset. Not necessarily that they don't have value. I think there's a subset who are frustrated with maybe having to respond to someone in the corporate world. There's a subset that
you're substituting small issue for bigger problem.
Exactly, and that's the subset I'm speaking to.
Okay.
As like that's
not a good enough reason to take all that risk and start something. No, I don't think it is, but I mean, it is what it is. I think there's one more important point to state, which is that another reason to start entrepreneurship is survival.
Okay.
The truth is, there's so much selection with a 9-to-5.
Yes.
In the last few decades, if you just don't have a college degree, nobody cares about your story, your context, and why you don't have that degree, and how you had to drop out to raise your siblings.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
So it just so happens that even if you want a 9-to-5, you can't.
So you have to bet on
you
yourself.
You have to be on yourself. By yourself, you have to start something. And that's another reason why some people, entrepreneurship is the only option for them for survival. And I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
you should absolutely do it. Yeah. You know, and two, there's another category of people that just cannot survive 9-to-5.
Okay. Like the people that maybe the corporate environment does not jive with their character? Like, what do you mean they cannot survive 9-to-5?
They just don't do well with structure.
So maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. You have to explain more, because
they just don't do well with structure. They have bad character.
So it's entrepreneurship that you want to.
You will learn it. Entrepreneurship, you go and try it first. No, but seriously, some people cannot last.
It's a bad character that you want to use to convince someone to buy your product.
You can hire the right people at some point.
It's a bad character that the people that you hired, they will not leave you.
No matter how bad you are. Do people find wife or husband? No. Tell me. If you can find a wife, you find an employee that can deal with you. Do I love my boss every day? No. You know? So that's okay. That's okay. Some people are smart. Yes. Fundamentally smart.
100%.
But they just cannot deal in a structured environment. They don't know how to not tell their boss their opinion. What they really think.
I think that it's okay to tell your boss what you really think. I think it's the delivery.
Depends on what
I think it's the delivery.
It depends on what you think.
I think it's the delivery method. I think you can
How will you deliver that, boss? I don't think you are actually smart enough, and I don't think you deserve this level you got.
And the question is like,
no, tell me now.
Wait. Let me answer the question.
Okay.
The question is like, what value does that add to the conversation?
Don't worry about the value.
Let me answer. If we are discussing about the work and the ultimate goal is to have something working, like on the job. I can speak to, I don't think maybe the boss has proposed an idea that I don't think would work. There are ways I can speak to, I don't think that this idea would work. But it's like speaking to a person's character, I don't see how that advances the conversation.
Not character.
If I say I don't think you're smart enough, I'm speaking to their
I don't think you do attributes. A good job of this. You don't even deserve to be in this level. You are not qualified, which is a fair thing.
It's a fair thing, but
they always talk about you are not ready for this next level. Okay, you are
yes,
there. But in my assessment, you are not qualified. You should be 2 levels below.
The question is, how does that advance the conversation forward?
Don't worry. Let's say in the context of someone is telling you, Simone, I don't think you're ready for this next level you want, this promotion. And you know that that person is 3 levels ahead of where they should be on a normal day. Even compared to you should.
Yeah. So me responding is not responding to their qualification. I'll be responding to whatever they think my qualification is. So I won't be.
So you won't say. That's my point.
I'm just saying, but for me, the way I'm saying it is not because I don't want to say. I don't see the value it adds to the conversation.
Tell me the kind of conversation where you will say this now.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see any.
So you will never say
any context where I should be telling like if I genuinely think that my boss is not smarter than me, and
that's not even what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
They are not smart enough for that level.
Okay, they're not. Okay, they're not smart in that level.
They are not even performing.
They're not.
Tell me the context in which you tell them now. Will you ever
that they're not performing? I can speak to the project that the person is doing relative to the project.
Tell me the context and what you would say now.
For me, I like to go off of proof. So if I think that their idea is crap, I'll just implement my own and show them that the proof is in the pudding.
But you said people should tell them.
And I'll tell them, I'll just like, look, the results are here. This one is better than this one.
But you assuming you work in a scope where results can be showed with numbers, and it can be shown clearly, quickly. So some people just don't work in that space.
Okay.
Right.
Give me an example that might help me contact. For example, where the results cannot be shown with numbers.
In operations, as an example, it could take you 1 year to see the impact of this decision you just made today.
Okay.
Right? Things are not you can't quickly go and test it out.
I agree with that.
Right?
I agree with that.
So how do you tell that your boss that
For me, how I try to do it is I come up with a small scale approximation of what I want to get to demonstrate. As like, let's test it in this setting.
Yeah.
And then, but I don't know how, I'm still not convinced that like,
so you won't tell them. That's my point. There are some people that they don't have that character development such that they can deal with that in that kind of space where you need to. There's a lot. Corporate is a lot of people management.
Yes, I agreed.
Some people just don't do well with managing. Whether you like this person or not, they are your boss. Full stop.
Yes, I agree.
There's almost no situation where you tell that your boss. You can tell your husband.
I agree, but for me, I don't know that that's sufficient justification to be like, okay, as a result, I'm going to go and be an entrepreneur.
So what option does that person have? Stick it out in corporate?
I'm not saying that you should stick it out.
Okay, don't make money.
That's not what I'm saying.
Die hungry.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, again, for me, the starting point is about an idea. If that person has an amazing idea that customers are willing to pay for.
Even if they don't have me, I'm saying, you have one. A good space for them. So I'm like, go try. By the time you're on your 10th, this thing, you all of us learn.
Yeah, and I also feel like sometimes in the corporate space, you also have that, like, again, this is just from my experience. You also have that iterative process. Like, things don't necessarily work out the first time.
Yeah.
You need a few times to get it to work. So the other question I was going to ask is, at what salary level do you think that it makes sense to leave your 9 to 5? And is it the 1 million cutoff? Like, what's the...
Like, if you're already in a 9 to 5, at what salary level does it make sense to get out and go start? Yeah. It depends. Do I have 5 kids or 1 or 0?
Let's just say,
what does my husband have? There's a lot. What does my mother have?
Because what am I coming in with?
What am I coming like?
Okay. Yeah.
So there's just a lot. For some people, it doesn't make sense. Like, never leave. If you I've met maybe 4 people in my life that truly, genuinely love what they do in their 9 to 5, and they earn well. They are growing in it. Why should they leave?
That's a good question.
If you don't sack me, what's going on?
Yeah,
I'll stay here. There's no this idea that if you do it, especially with us millennials, like if you're in a 9 to 5 forever, you are suddenly less. No. If you are one of the lucky ones, you somehow are earning over $500,000 a year,
growing.
And you love what you do, and you're growing, and you see potential there. You are one of the few in this world. Why should you leave
and go and stress back from scratch?
Whatever you want to start it in that company.
And then when it goes,
I've seen people negotiate for themselves with their boss and say, I want to start this division, or I want to start this. I don't want to live here. I'm interested in this. And they build it out. It becomes an entire team. Right?
I've seen that
so
too.
That's for me. When I meet those kinds of people, I'm like, I don't think you should leave your 9 to 5 just because you want to satisfy this. Get out of social media, baby. Like, get out. Why are you listening to people that should not be able to advise you? Forget it. Online, that's when you listen to advice from people that in real life you can't take advice from this person. On what grounds are you advising?
Or what experience?
What experience? Like,
where's the proof?
That's the issue with everybody has an opinion. Even medical advice, but you can't go to medical school. Go to medical school, then come and give me advice.
Because then I've
done the work, then
there's working to show for it.
I just feel like it depends. But if you don't like the setup, your trajectory is not looking good. I think if you have one kid, I genuinely think if you have one kid, good husband, if you are worth 1.5 M, like,
you're good enough.
You're actually good. All this work we're doing, it's an overkill many times.
So I have 2 more questions to ask you. I feel like sometimes we don't also talk about the mental load that either of the trajectories play on you. Do you think that one has a lighter mental load or the equivalent? Like, for like your mental well-being, is entrepreneurship more mentally taxing for you, or because there's also the notion that entrepreneurship is freeing, you have freedom. Like, I want us to explore that topic a little bit more on like what
for your mental health.
Yeah,
I think both. They are different. They attack different parts of your
your mental health.
Yeah. By the time you're done, there's a burden that comes with, will I be able to pay my staff salary next month? And that
for me, that's a lot.
No, especially when you've gotten to a point and when you're starting your business, 10 people, maybe you have 9 employees, you now know them at a level that you wouldn't have known them in a big corporation. You know their kids, you know they have a wife or a husband, you know they're going through surgery, and you know next month you can't pay. And that person is telling you we have a surgery next month.
And
you know that attacks your mental health on a different level. 9 to 5 too. It gets to a point for some people where you know that if you remain at this job, you cannot get promoted. And that destroys you as well.
But why is the option not of like, okay, if I remain at this job, I cannot get promoted? Why is the option not I go to another job? Why is the option like, oh, here, then go to entrepreneurship?
No, you can always get another
as a valid,
But the reality is we all think it's easy to get another job. There's a ton of things involved, the economy, the job.
The job market.
Say, this job, you actually love it. Do you know, like you may go to another company doing similar thing, but you don't like it. There's a combination of things that make you the culture, the job, the boss, the team, location, the salary. There's so much. Of course, you want to apply for another job, but can you create that setup in that perfect way
that you want?
So that also impacts your mental health in a different way. So I feel like it just depends. Like there's a mental health issue on both sides.
So it means like at the end of the day, pick the one you want to deal with.
Hard you want
to deal with.
But I can understand, like if you're just starting a family, you are pregnant with your first child, you may want more consistent paycheck for that season. And irrespective of what the work is. And afterwards, you
can now go back.
And I want us to start speaking more about this reality that your job, it's okay to have your job for the paycheck, full stop. This whole idea of impact, of passion, of your brain. Sometimes I'm just working because I'm a responsible person and I have a daughter. And that's okay.
For this season,
that's next time, don't worry.
We can engage in other dimensions. Because sometimes you don't have the luxury of having all those things.
You do what you have to do.
Yes. I 100% agree with that. Like sometimes it's like, I need to put food on the table. That's why I am here, and that's okay. The final question is like, what do you think our listeners, people who are tuned in, should ask themselves when choosing either path? In a season, like, should I go into, if someone is wrestling with that question right now, should I go into entrepreneurship? Should I build myself? Should I go take a 9 to 5? What questions should they be asking themselves to answer that?
I think there are 2 things I'll ask myself. One is, what do I have today?
What do you mean, like financially?
Financially.
Okay.
Do I have 0? And I'm considering even my mother's house. In like everything. Joints. Joint all. Do I have a rich husband? I'm going to consider, what do I have today? What am I worth? Am I worth just $100,000 or $10,000 or negative? That, because the decision I'll make if I had $2 million is different from if I were just worth $10,000. So that's the first question I'll ask myself. The second question I'll ask myself is, do I have a good understanding of the risks and reward? Once I'm able to, I don't also want to be dying one day and I stayed at a 9 to 5 just because I was too scared to try.
No, for me, guys, that's
no. I want to try everything. This is my one life God gave me. Even God will know that I lived it.
Even if it doesn't work for me, I think for me, the peace of mind of like, I tried it is greater than whether it works or not.
Whether I made $1 billion from it or not. 100%. Like I tried, So for me, once I'm able to answer those 2 questions, like, do I have a good understanding of what could go wrong? And be fine with what could go wrong. And I have something to fall back on. Maybe that's even $100,000 of net worth. I will go ahead with whatever entrepreneurship I want to do. And if I don't have 5 kids, if I have 5 kids, I may stay at night, because I try to be responsible for my kids.
Okay, guys, I think we will end the episode there. If you have any other thoughts about entrepreneurship, 9 to 5, maybe combining both, please share those with us. We'd like to learn your perspective also about it.
Yeah, and I think it's something that's top of mind for a lot of us in our 30s.
Yes,
so like, we want to hear your thoughts. Let us know.
We want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll see you
in the next episode.
time.
See you next time. Bye.